I'm Todd Shaffer, Manager of Research. I am one of the co-instructors for the Successful Investor Coaching Group, so I hope to see you there. We're in trading mode, though, for this presentation, so my two picks, Cadence Design and Sienna. I have a good memory, it's just short, so let's do them one at a time here. Start with Cadence Design, priced at 93, valued at 85, so we're getting a bit of a premium. We like to say within 10% you're fully valued, so it's the upper limits of fully valued. But we've got good upside potential with RV at 1.26, RS at 1.42 is solid, right? That's typically the upper limits of RS. We're in a strong uptrend with RT at 185. They're growing earnings at 16% a year. They also, both of these have positive sales growth. So in this environment, I like to see that sales are still growing, although it isn't stellar. 2% is still positive though, so I like to see that in those picks. Interesting to note, as I was searching for these candidates, my usual play is to first see which industries or sectors have been moving up. So I do an RT Delta search on those industries and sectors. And I found a lot of those candidates, though, had peaked and were either retracing or consolidating on profit taking. So the source of my picks this time was very simple. I went to the Viewers tab, go to the watch list viewer, you go to the cherry picking folder, Midas Touch Stocks. My sort, RT times CI. Find me the stocks that have the fastest price movement and consistency or persistence of price action. So that sorting feature gets you into some really nice, I think, candidates. All right, so that was the source, and it was just then a matter of looking at their graphs and, of course, looking for candidates that had rising earnings performance as well. So let's go back to our watch list, Glenn, and we'll go take a look at our graphs. So starting with Cadence, we'll go over to its graph. And so on the graph here, we have the price, support, resistance, RT, and earnings per share. You can see the earnings per share performance continues to rise into the current time frame. Price action has come back to retest that 20, 3 or 4 times now. So I've got nice self-adjusting trend line support on the price action. We're just coming off of that swing pivot. That pivot low, right off of the first low, Brian, or Glenn, go up one more. That low, that swing is above the prior swing high, right there, exactly. So we're still accelerating here. I like that. We're coming up off of the pullback, so all guns going here. I'd enter it right away with the market.
There we go. All right, I'll start off. The stock is hitting a new one-year high. I'm with Todd that as long as the stock's price is going up, I'd put my order in 1/8 of a point or 12 cents higher than the high. What does catch my attention, though, as the stock's price is going up, I'm watching RT slow down a little bit, but I got to keep in mind that RT is on a scale between 0 and 2. It's close to the value of 2. The stock is really moving up, but I'm watching a little bit of a sideways move as the stock's price is moving up. That's the only thing that catches my attention. But I think overall upward moving, RT high, but just telling me that it's slowing. It might be slowing down a little bit. Anybody else?
I think that's a good story because one of the most common questions, at least back in the day when I was doing a lot of the phone work, was, gee whiz, Steve, I'm looking at my stock today and relative timing is at 1.8. Is it now the time to sell it? And the answer to that question is no, typically, unless you're at 1.8 and falling. So you keep an eye on it when relative timing gets up in that level. I got to be honest with you, I've seen stocks stay well above 1.8 for 6 months or longer. So, and I'm going to tell you, you want to be enjoying the ride when that's happening because it's measuring acceleration of price, right?
That's one of the things, absolutely.
It's measuring the trend, the strength of the trend. And While I think that there's some opportunity to maybe catch a bit of a retracement back to that moving average in the future, I'm with Todd. I love Cadence. That's a great pick, man. I like the pick.
Yeah, I agree. It was actually going to be one of my picks until I found out Todd had already chosen it.
Early bird, Jim, early bird.
I'm confident that both of my picks were in your Midas Touch search and sort or watch list, so I feel good about that. But it's a similar pattern to a lot of good quality stocks that we see. The sell-off came, the market bottom came, and the good quality stocks are going up with a rising market. So, I mean, something like that, I don't need a buy stop on that. If the market's going up, and you know, we're still waiting for the dust to settle. You see me looking at my phone. I'm just looking at the market, folks, by the way. In case you see me looking at my phone here, I'm just watching the markets and seeing how they're reacting to the Fed. But it's a great stock. Look at, you know, high RS, wonderful stock, short term, long term. So, yeah.
The other thing I'd point out, Glenn,
Yes.
you see the initial blast off coming off the market low. Look at the slope of that price action, right?
Right.
So after we consolidate, now the slope is closer to the 45-degree
Again.
angle, right? But I'm still in uptrend. I'm still hitting higher highs. It's just not accelerating as quickly.
I'm with that. Again,
okay.
my only concern was the sideways move on RT. But RT is telling you stocks in a big uptrend, and it's moving up quickly. That was just it. I wasn't beating you up.
Yeah.
I was just giving you my opinion.
I wasn't saying you were.
You were
I
being
think-
very
I think
picky,
the- I think the
you
big
were being
problem-
very, very picky on that.
Yeah, I think the big. I think the thing to watch out for would be if RT starts slipping to 1.7, 1.6. You know,
Or if I stop hitting higher
if it
highs.
stays at 1.8, 185, that sucker's moving.
I ain't saying nothing else for the rest of the day. It's
go down. You
let
got
no, I don't want to hear it. I ain't saying nothing else. All right, you can control your own mouth and stuff too. All right, let's go to your next stock.
Go back to the viewers.
Oh, now I got to go back to
Go
the
back to the
viewers.
watch list.
Who's your buddy, Todd?
Steve.
Wow, Steve.
Apparently, right?
Wow. All right, go ahead.
All right. Sienna's our next candidate, priced at 54, valued at 78. So we like its nice undervaluedness. Good upside potential, good safety, not super strong, but above average. In a nice upward price trend, growing earnings at 19% a year. We saw they still had positive sales growth. Well, let's take a look at their graph. They're in the telecom sector here, so another play there. Also, notice the recent uptick in earnings. They had a good earnings beat on the last cycle, and they're continuing to see some nice prospects into the future here. So even though prices pulled back from the high, it's coming back for that retest. Again, I'm still in acceleration mode here. I'm interested to see that coming up off of that pivot low, but either the moving average or the pivot low becomes my stop. I think I have enough headroom to retest that high. And that's the pick.
I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying a thing. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, thanks, Glenn.
You're welcome, Steve.
No, Glenn, one quick question. Has the RT flattened out or started to go down?
Really?
Did it tick down?
Really, Jim?
One tick?
I'm not saying anything. Go ahead. Steve, why don't you just take over the rest of the show today?
It's just your week, Glenn. It's just, you know, it's just your week. No, look, guys, here's another name under the radar that I think everybody wishes they knew about. I love both of the last two picks. I'm just going to leave it at that. It does appear to be getting a little sawtoothy, a little sideways. So you actually should have interjected here.
No. So Steve said it, but nobody says anything to Steve when Steve says it. I said it. No, I'm the bad guy.
But I look at that with this stock. If you look at earnings on the bottom right, I'm looking at that action as good opportunity to scoop up a good price on a Sienna Corp. It's a great stock.
Zoom in on the last couple months there, Glenn, because you have a gap there that it's kind of retesting.
This gap?
No, that one.
Okay.
Right? So kind of retesting that gap,
Yeah.
and RT's picking up that, hey, yeah, we had a pullback and we're not accelerating off of the pullback. So to Steve's point, yeah, I want to see this price start moving higher again.
Right.
And so I might enter. You have to decide whether or not that's enough headroom, whether you want to take out that prior high, or whether you think you have enough headroom to it.
One of the ways I might deal with that, I make this comment a lot in the Jockey Club, our daily trading room, is if you don't have the kind of room like we had on some of those prior charts, just go half-size position now on a higher day, and then add the other half when you break through the high. That way you're keeping your risk low until you, until you make enough move where you feel like the stock can go a lot higher. I'm sorry.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, you want
I
to
learned
build
it
a
from
core
you.
position. No, that was great. You can build a position. You can begin to build a position.
Yeah.
If you like the market, you like the stock,
Yeah.
you can start to build a core position and either add to it or tighten it at a stock that's kind of moving based on some of those caveats that you mentioned. But that's exactly what I was going to say. You can start to build a core position on it and add to it as it moves.
Yeah, and that's the way to go. You know, all the people on Wall Street, they tell you just buy more as it's going lower. That's not what you do. What you do is you buy more as it's going up.
There
Exactly,
you go.
yeah.
That's a much better way to
that's
go.
there's a huge difference, and unfortunately, you know, it's kind of ingrained in your heads now that, I'm on back, right? No, what you want to do is start small and build as the stock continues to go your way. That way, you're adding fuel to the fire, and a good fire, right? You know, in a good way.
And God forbid if it does go against you, you're at a lot less risk on
Right.
that position because you started to build it.
And you could begin to sell off some of the core position as it moves higher to lock in profit.
Absolutely.
And it just leaves you with a lot of great options once you've built around a core position. And in a stock like that, in fact, a lot of the stocks we're looking at, given the market condition, I think it's a great way to go.
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.